All right, so today's a significant day for the project. We're actually pouring our suspended slab. Now the slab with this one has actually gone through a bit of a redesign. We originally had a conventionally formed slab with reinforcement and really thick beams. And what we've since done is we redesigned the slab with a post-tensioning system, and that was to get some advantages with the thickness of your actual slab and also to achieve greater spans. So it did take a little bit more extra time on the drawing board, but we've again achieved a better result. And also we were able to pass some savings onto the client because there was less reinforcement that's required in the slab and also less concrete. So it's a really good result. Again, there were a few delays, as I mentioned, with the job, with the design aspect, and also some weather, and then also some coordination issues that we did have along the way. But we got there, and it's a great achievement now to be pouring our slab today. The next stage for us will be putting up the structure of the house. So we've got our structural steel booked in for this week, and then also the carpenters will follow thereafter. So the house will really start to take shape now. You know, it feels like we haven't done too much, even though there's been a lot of work that's happened between, you know, the day we first came on site and what's happening right now. So it's, yeah, really happy with the progress, and it's going to be great. Now what you see on the slab itself right now, you see some galvanised conduits which have some reinforcement strands inside them. This is the post-tensioning system. What will happen is tomorrow, after we finish the pour, the post-tensioning contractor will come in, they'll go to one end of the strand, they'll put a hydraulic jack on it, and they'll pull the reinforcement through it. And what that does is it compresses the slab and gives it its strength. That they'll do about 10% the first day, then they'll come back in about a week's time, they'll do another 30 or 40%, and then after that they'll come and do the final one as well, which will give it its full strength. Following that, they'll come back and they'll grout in all the ends and they'll grout in all the tubes for the post-tensioning strands. The other thing you'll see behind me is you'll see a whole range of white tubing. Now that's got nothing to do with the structure at all. That's actually the hydronic heating for the house. In this instance, our client has wanted to put it inside the slab rather than do a screed option. So there are some cost savings associated with that. From a building point of view, the risk is we've got to be really mindful that when our trades are on site, no one drills through the slab. The reason being, or puts a nail in or anything like that, reason being is if we hit one of these pipes, it's going to be really difficult to repair. So controlling that's going to be really important on the project. We had to get the surveyor out here to mark out all the walls exactly where they are to make sure that these pipes are within the areas that they need to be, and we're going to minimise any risk of potential damage. So what we've done with the hydronic heating as well is we put it under pressure. The reason we do this is we want to make sure that throughout the whole pour, and then also after we finish the pour, that we haven't actually sprung a leak in any of these pipes. Really important again, because once we've got water going through these pipes to heat the house, if there's any leaks in it, it's just not going to work efficiently. So we're constantly maintaining this. We're always checking it throughout the day, make sure we don't spring any leaks. Today at AAA Advanced Trusses and Windows, the guys here supplied us with the posis, trusses, prefab walls, and also windows for the project. So it's a core element of the build. Out here to meet Nick today, who's the director, and to show you behind the scenes of what actually happens to get the materials made in their warehouse and then delivered to site. So I'm here today with Nick Hinch, who's the General Manager of the window department of the business. He was directly involved with the manufacture and the delivery of the windows for our project. Nick, thanks for giving us your time today.
No worries, thanks for coming down.
Not at all. With the social distancing in place now, we've probably got to stand a little bit further away from each other than normal, but tell me a little bit about the process. So we'd obviously send you through the drawings, and then what would happen thereafter?
Yeah, so as you know, we're a little bit unique in the industry with the ability to supply prefabricated wall frames, roof trusses and posi struts, and then also having the windows, which is where I come into it. Quite unique in the industry, so builder like yourself sends us the plans, and we get all of the design, basically for the whole frame, and the whole window systems are all problem solved together as one. So I know at a job like Malvern, the windows are a big
Absolutely.
Sort of a big ticket item, but also a really important design element in the whole build. So there's a lot of things we've set down, sliding doors, there's the size of the windows, all of these types of things, and that's definitely something that has to be problem solved right from the start, and that's what we like to do.
Yeah, and that's probably one of the biggest things for us as a builder. We're going to one person for 4 really large elements of the build. You've got your prefabricated timber, walls, posis, trusses, and then we've got the windows as well. So rather than going to 4 different suppliers, we're actually going to the one person to manage all of that for us. That's a huge advantage for us. Because it's all locally made and manufactured, the biggest advantage for us as a builder is time. You know, the delay cost associated if you're ordering from something from overseas, and especially now with what's happening in the world with COVID, like who would have thought if we'd ordered windows from overseas, I probably still wouldn't have them today. So it's a massive advantage to be able to locally produce and manufacture and have these windows here, and the trusses and posis as well.
That's right, and particularly on a project like Malvern, where you're literally problem solving and determining sizes up to 2 to 3 weeks before they're getting delivered to site. And it's that flexibility that the locally made products really
and then
come to the zone.
The fact that you're making the walls and to suit the windows as well, I'd imagine there's some efficiencies in that too.
Yeah, we talk constantly. Supervisors will also send through like their delivery requests, and they'll have all of the items on the sheet, and we just work to those dates. So we work alongside the builder and our wall frame plant.
That's great. Thank you very much for all your help with on the job, and we're looking forward to working with you on the next one.
No worries, I look forward to seeing Malvern finished.
Yeah, that's it. Cheers, mate.
No worries.
So once our structural slab is down, the next thing to do is start building your frame. And this is a great part of the project because you can really see the house come to life and how all the rooms will work. The first thing we do is get our structural frame up, so the structural steel will come on site. We get some shop drawings, we review them, we approve them, manufacture, and then erect on site. Following that is the carpentry. Carpenters will come through, they'll start building all their frames. So one thing we do on pretty much all of our projects, a lot of the time engineers will specify on a job your stud work to be, say, 90-35 studs. What we end up doing is more often than not, we end up putting in 90-45. It's just more solid construction, and we feel that it gives a better product, especially when it's holding up your top floor. We like to do that. The other thing we do is we tend to stick build our frames as opposed to getting them prefabricated. The reason for this is I find that when we prefab walls, especially on our architectural builds, you end up going through and modifying them to suit what you're trying to build on site. When you stick build, you've got a lot more control over the frame and things go in the right place the first time. So it's something that we tend to do on our architectural builds. So the one thing we really need to do before we get any carpenters on site is procure our posis and our trusses. This involves us sending all the plans to our supplier. They comp it up, they draw it up, and obviously give us our price. We then order all the material. From that stage, they have 2 to 3 week period to build everything for us, and we coordinate that with the trades on site. And it's critical to the job that you get this done at the right time, because if not, it can really delay you on site, and your site could be sitting vacant and nothing happening on site because you're waiting for these materials. The other thing we've done upstairs as well is we've also used 90-45s for the frame and stick built it up here too. Again, this is not something that was documented on the drawings, but something that we like to do when we're delivering a high-end home and a quality product. What we do once our frame's done and signed off by the building surveyor, we load the roof on with tiles. We get the scaffold around the outside, gutter fascia goes on. The boys are working away, which I don't think they'll actually get finished anymore today, but we've got a concrete roof tile, a flat tile, and should be done in a day, but we might take a little bit longer.